So our final countdown, chapter 13. This is still on 3 or more groups, but this time we are, I didn't write chapter 13, I just wrote chapter. We are on 3 or more groups. I'm all getting excited because this is the last one. This time we're talking about means. We did proportions the last one, now we're doing means. So this test is called the ANOVA test. It stands for Analysis of Variance. AN is from analysis, O is from of, and BA is from variance, ANOVA. It helps you find it when you're looking for it in StatCrunch, just like goodness of fit. It has its own header under stats. Stats, ANOVA, and we're going to do one way. This says 3 or more groups. I'm going to say K or more groups. So we have K groups, K being greater than or equal to 3 groups. It helps me a little bit on the next description of what H naught is. H naught is mu1 equals mu2 equals ... equals mu K. All groups have the same mean. In words. Generally, we say mu1 equals mu2 equals mu3, and that's where we go. HA, and they are going to try to throw you off in the homework. HA is at least one mean is different. If I got 10 groups and 9 of them have approximately the same mean, but one of them doesn't, then this is going to be one of those reject things. Now, for the K groups, they need to be different. K different groups, independent groups, like no overlap. There can't be someone that's in 2 different groups. That's a requirement. We want and we need 1 sample from each group. If there's K different groups, every group needs to be represented. Otherwise, we can't really make a statement about if all the means are the same if we don't have all the fucking data for each group. You know? Makes sense. It seems obvious. Just like everything in this thing, we want them to be normally distributed. In this category, many of the problems will tell you a probability plot shows normal distribution. Probability plot, that's a QQ plot. Looks good, and the box plot has no outliers. We've seen this idea before in the other categories with means. The 1 sample and the 2 sample with means. We don't want outliers. Outliers just destroy the shit out of means. It's like averaging Warren Buffett's income in fucking with any group. Like, you can pick even a lot of fucking rich people and still Warren Buffett's just gonna fucking kill that mean. Not kill it, it's gonna make it way too large. The next one is the one that you actually have to check for, and it has a little bit of work. Thankfully, you don't need to do it on the final because you're not going to have the computer to help you with it. But when you're doing homework, you want, what's a good way of saying this? The probabilities have approximately the same variance. Remember, variance is standard deviation squared. So the way we're going to check it is we're not going to check variance, we're actually going to check standard deviation. We check standard deviation, it applies to variance. What you're going to do here is you're going to look for the largest standard deviation. And you're going to make sure that it's less than 2 times the smallest standard deviation. And we will do that today. You guys ready for a problem? All right, so this was back in 1991. This was in the Harvard Law Review periodical thingy. They wanted to see if there was gender and or racial discrimination in car sales. So they had men and women of both, men and women, both black and white. Try to buy the same car. They all had roughly the same income. Debt, all the things that they're looking for when they decide at what kind of rate they're going to offer you, and dress the same. Dress similarly. Maybe they all showed up in suits or like a business suit. So they try to be as similar as possible. And the following data or table shows the profit margin that was going to be had based on these categories. So WM stands for white male. BM stands for black male. WF stands for white female. And BF stands for black female, not boyfriend. They had a lot of white males go in. It'll take me a little bit to write this down, but this is the only problem we need to do in this section. And then Mateo can go play baseball. So we know that's what we're waiting on, right? He thinks we're all gonna go over and stand in that fucking heat and watch him play.
They need to get like big fans that like spray out mist.
Right?
That'd be so sick.
Where is it gonna be at here?
Yeah, at the field right here.
I'm gonna drive by and yell out, Mateo sucks! Now that sounds like fun.
I was gonna be like, what the hell?
Hopefully you're not out on the field. Hopefully you're sitting with the rest of your team waiting to get to bat so they all fucking hear it. And they're gonna be like, what the fuck? Oh, that's my math teacher. He's a dick. All right, there's a lot of white males. The other categories are much shorter, okay?
He's gonna say. It's so long.
Theodore hasn't been back. He heard me say who the fuck it eats gristle, and that was it for him. Right?
Yeah, he didn't rock with it. Is that 877 or is it just like 77?
877.
I think they need to rehire their salespeople.
This is 30 years ago. I kind of want to know, like, if they do redo this now,
I know.
how different the results are,
Yeah.
or if they're even different. We know racism and gender shit still exists. This isn't fucking Star Trek. It's not going away for a long time. We gotta get what we really fucking need is we need a good alien invasion. That should unite all of fucking humanity, and we're gonna stop looking at stupid petty shit.
Hasn't there been talk in the Senate or something like
Yeah,
that about,
yeah.
like, people coming out saying they like alien aircraft?
Like real
Like
people.
whistleblowers or whatever?
Yeah, I don't.
No, there's a whole conference about it. It was like,
I
I
saw
watched
something.
It was in the Senate, yeah.
Like something was, it wasn't leaked, but it was like they were told. Like
What
they
the
were like,
fuck?
yeah, aliens are real.
they were like, said they're
Like they
being
have
told,
like alien
information.
Okay, aliens being real
I don't know.
and aliens invading are two different fucking things.
And
Aliens
like,
being real, that seems like, why are we really the only fucking planet in the entire goddamn universe
No.
that had the right fucking conditions and got lucky that has life? That doesn't seem possible, even if you believe in a God. A God's not gonna put all their eggs in one basket, right? They're gonna have a bunch of planets that they're fucking doing this shit over and going, I want, one of these planets is gonna be worth something. Doesn't look like Earth is it. You got a bunch of people that fucking fight all the time, look at skin color, all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
They get pretty petty. But the point is, there's gotta be alien life somewhere.
Yeah.
So, the question is,
that was funny.
how do we make them unified people? We gotta get them to attack. That's a bad beat for us, because the only way they attack means they can fucking get here, which means their fucking space technology is way better than ours, and that probably means they got some real fucking pew-pew lasers,
Yeah.
or like, bombs are like really fucking, they can just level cities, like Independence Day, the movie. And yeah, it's not gonna go well, but we will unite. And luckily for us, we live out in fucking nowhere. So, when aliens attack, we're gonna live through at least the first week.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got a lot of cities in California they're gonna wanna fucking take out before they hit by sight. We got food out here, we got water out here.
All right.
Now we do.
Yeah.
We're out far enough that you can go get in a fucking car and drive into the mountain range and go near a river and get off the fucking grid.
So I grew up in the foothills and mountains of the valley, right? I'll tell you, the amount of old men that live up there who have stockpiles of everything that you can imagine,
Oh, I believe
we'll
it.
be fine.
I believe it.
I've been trying to get my wife to at least do that with rice and beans. Get a 50-pound bag of those that takes up space in the garage, so eventually goes bad. I'm like,
It takes a while.
it takes a while, and they're not that expensive. And if shit really goes downhill, it doesn't take fucking alien invasion.
Yeah, it could be any.
I mean,
If the fucking electricity and the internet go out for fucking 2 weeks, the world's gonna go fucking crazy.
That's so scary. Well, remember with the pandemic thing, they were already. Yeah.
We went fucking crazy over toilet paper.
Yes, people already started overwhelming them.
They still have electricity and internet.
So imagine
As
what
soon as that shit goes away,
that's
that's how you destroy another country. You don't need to send nukes anymore. You fucking turn off their power.
that's why you make friends with people who own milk cows
survival.
and honeybees.
All right, so we are going to test the claim that there's discrimination. Which the way we're gonna do this, are the means the same? That's how we'll test discrimination. So before we go on to the next page to do our test question version of this, let's find the test stat and the p-value real quick. Stats, ANOVA, one way. I keep saying stats. I've said stats. I write stats every single fucking time. It says stat. I just noticed it. That's pissing me off. Everything else here has fucking, look at that. Everything here says stats. There's a plural. The fucking category header, no. So we were looking at white male, white female, black female. That's all you need. You can make some graphs if you want to. You don't need to. Just click compute. This is what we need to check, and you're not going to have to do for the test, but the homework will have you do it. Standard deviations are listed here. Find the smallest one and double. So the smallest one here is 157. Double it. If you throw it in a calculator, you're getting around 314. The largest one here is 241. We said the largest has to be less than twice the smallest. 241 is less than 314. So large, so you have something to write down, is 241.5. We'll just say 241. The small is 157. So is the large, sigma large, less than 2 times the small? We're checking to see if 241 is less than 2 times 157. 241 is less than 314, so yes, we meet that criteria. For everything on the final, you're going to assume all requirements are met.
Why is the 2 standard deviation small?
That's just our way of showing that the variances are not too far apart. Variances are approximately the same. If we check the standard deviation, because standard deviation squared is variance. So we can just as easily check standard deviation.
Oh, so it's basically saying it's dictating it's like 2 times the standard deviation and then,
2 times the lowest deviation,
yeah, the lowest
and
deviation.
we're going to compare it to the highest deviation for each of the groups you have.
Yeah.
And so the largest group that had the largest deviation, if we want to put a little label on it, the largest group was the black male group, and the smallest group was the white female group. Now, who here looks at these values and says, that's some bullshit?
Wait, what do you mean, like, we're gonna assume all requirements are met on the pattern? Is that really?
Okay, so assuming you've been paying attention, every single one of these tests has some requirements. The requirements for this is they need to be normally distributed and shit like that. All groups need to be represented, everything, anything like for the population, for the two proportion, you need n times p times 1 minus p to be greater than 10 for both groups. Just assume all of that's true, you don't need to check for it. That's what I'm saying. Just go through and do the H naught, the HA, tell me what kind of test it is, state the conclusion. So, all this is kind of like you don't need to worry about, but you do need the test stat and the p-value. And on the screen, it says you're looking for the f-stat when you do it. F-stat here is 61.364968, and my p-value is less than 0.0001. So I wrote those in on my paper. Oh, something else I want to point out. The old homework, some of them asked you what SS was and MS is. SS is sum of squares. I'll write this on the other screen. I just want you to make sure you can see where I'm looking at. They might ask you for stuff that's in these fields. They won't say SS, it won't say MS, it will say this. It will say, ask for sum of squares, that's SS. And you can find that on the ANOVA calculations. If it asks for mean of squares, that's MS. Also on ANOVA calculations. So we are going to go through and treat this like it's a test question. When you get to a problem like this and you see more than three or more categories, it can only be goodness of fit, chi-squared, or this ANOVA. We've already seen the chi-squared has row headers and this does not have row headers. We've already seen goodness of fit requires proportions, and there's no proportion shit going on here. In fact, what I wrote below says mean, but like the actual full problem, you'll see the word mean somewhere in the problem, something like that. This is an ANOVA test. You should be able to identify the ANOVA test when you see it. It doesn't have row headers. There's more than two groups. 3 or more. H naught for this one will be mu of white males equals mu of black males, which equals mu of white females, which equals mu of black females. That's H naught. The means are equal. HA is at least one mean and is different. All right, we have our test stat and our p-value. We need the p-value. My p-value is listed as 0.0 or less than 0.0001. Let's say alpha is 0.01. We're still less than it, which means we're still going to reject H naught. P-val's too low, reject the hoe, support HA.
Wouldn't the alpha be 0.05 since it's not given?
I'm giving it as 0.01.
Oh, okay.
I'll come up here and add it residually. But yes, if it's not given you 0.05. In fact, it wasn't, in the thing I have it written down, I have it as 0.05. I just didn't write it earlier. But I think, I don't want you guys constantly seeing 0.05 because then you start thinking everything is that. And like,
Yeah, that's
you
what
need to
I'm
read the
like.
problem and make sure alpha is not listed as something different.
Yeah. When I was doing the homework, it would give me like different, it gave me 0.01, 0.0001. And I was like, I only know 0.05. And so I had a like,
Right.
good example.
So we're supporting HA, and HA is at least one meaning is different, which means there's evidence for that. There is sufficient evidence to support the claim. The claim here was gender and racial discrimination. That there is racial and gender discrimination and or gender discrimination in car sales. And I'm going to throw in 1991, because while I assume it still exists, I don't know that for certain. And we will say at alpha equals 0.01 level of significance.
Should we also, like during the final, put, at alpha equals what so-and-so level?
You don't have to add that last part, but it's good practice.
Also for H naught, is the means are equal specific to this question, or is that across?
For every ANOVA, the means are equal.
So the H naught is like M, white man, black man, white female, black female. Those are all added up together, or is it just like?
They're not
that's how
added, each individual mean is calculated for each group.
Hmm.
And H naught is if the means are all close enough to each other.
Okay, so we have to like find what the mean is for each and put it in, or just have it like how it is presented right now?
You have it as it is presented right now.
Just leave it like that.
Yeah,
Don't put no numbers.
no,
Okay.
I'm not expecting numbers. You don't even know what the mean is.
Okay.
They just need to be equal.
Okay. Because my mind is thinking of like putting the numbers.
I hear you, because we've done that.
Yeah.
But think about like the P1 minus P2 we did yesterday. We didn't have numbers for them. We just said P1 minus P, or P1 equal P2.
Yeah.
And when we did it, we moved the P2 over to make it P1 minus P2 equals 0. But we didn't say what they were, we just said they were equal.
Yeah.
Now, if you're actually doing something with it in real life, you're probably gonna wanna know what the numbers are, but that's past the hypothesis test.
Yeah.
Hypothesis test is just supporting your ideas. Your ideas will be like what the proportions or means and shit is, and whatever the case may be. That's it, folks. That is all of the lecture content.
Sweet.
There will be videos up tonight. As soon as I get home, I will start loading them. For the practice final. Yeah, a little short video for the practice final, and then a little longer video for the practice final answers. But other than that, we'll see you Monday, unless I see you on Zoom this weekend or you message me.
What time are you on Zoom?
From 8 to 10 on Saturday and Sunday.
And then like if we want to do like a Zoom for homework tomorrow.
Message me and I'll let you, if I'm not busy, I'll hop on.
Hey, Mr. Jones.
If you really want these, I'll go scan them right now.
Yes.
All right.
Or I can, because they're all scanned on Canva, right?
Yeah,
I can just go there.
okay.
Appreciate it though. See you Monday.
Can I see the answer sheet just so I can write out what, I know you have it somewhere in Canvas, but I just want what the problems are,
Yeah,
like what tests they are.
What is your character in Dungeons and Dragons?
what is my character
Yeah.
in Dungeons and Dragons?
Did you ever meet my little brother?
My character in Dungeons and Dragons currently is a cleric,
Okay.
a half-orc cleric.
Okay. Why?
He has the Forge domain,
Text from him.
playing 5th edition.
His car that's apparently reliable is like lower to the point he can't make it up the driveway, right? Because he's in the
The
medium.
character I've taken to 20th level and 3.5 was a
And he just like,
human fighter
yeah,
female.
He went to the car shop, one of my tires gave me.
Hey. What was that last
Last
person?
week the axle
What?
was.
What was the last
bent.
person?
The character I've taken to max level, 20 level, is a human
And
fighter.
I'm like, and he insists that it's not because when it comes
Cause I could draw you one of them.
Oh, you don't think that? No, very much is.
Yeah, like make like
Fine.
Really?
How he
a
drives
sketch
it.
kind of wherever you are in the story.
What a dummy.
And he's a little hilarious.
I'll message you a description. Look at this sucker! He's like, wait, you want me to draw your D&D character? I'll draw your D&D character. That'd be fucking great.
That'd be really sick.
Yeah. Can I steal that just for 2 seconds? Thank you so much.
I'll give you a description of Geo, that's his name.
Geo? Alright.
Geo?
Geo, like the rocks.
Oh, Geo. Okay.
Me and my friends are gonna play, and you know what? Cause like, I don't know, I used to kind of like think like, oh, that's cringe, but then I was like, that's the fun part of it, you know what I mean? Like that, like.
What part's cringe?
Like when I saw people getting into it, I was like, oh, that's nerdy, but then I was like, no, like that's kind of like,
Dude, nerdy shit's now mainstream.
right, nerdy shit's fun.
Nerdy shit's always been fun, it's just jocks have been fucking like, and cheerleaders and shit like that have been like, I'm not smart enough to hang out with the smart kids. That's usually what it is. It's really what it is. The smart kids are like, I don't want to fucking play sports. That's fucking tiring and exhausting. I want to do something that's creative with my mind, that's fun, and it's a game.
My character that I'm like making is like, you know those like Dragonborn?
Yeah,
It's that, but he's Ringo, you know from the movie Ringo?
Huh?
That's it.
nice.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Cause I was like, I don't know, I wanted to do something. Do they have pet dragons? Cause I was,
You can get pet dragons.
dude, I'm gonna make it, you know like the rattlesnake?
A what?
The rattlesnake?
I know what a rattlesnake is,
You know
yes.
from the movie though? Like the cowboy one, with the machine gun on his tail?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's gonna be in my head. Yeah, I don't like.
D&D's fun. It has definitely helped that they have like some famous actors that are fucking macho looking guys. They're like, I like D&D. I'll show you some. Some of the girls are gonna go like, oh, hell yeah. Hook me up with that motherfucker. What was the werewolf guy in True Blood? I forget what his name was. That guy. He's a fucking D&D junkie.
Oh my.
He's a DM, he leads his own group.
Oh my
It's a fucking exclusive thing to get invited to. He's got actors, couple actors. He's got like some famous non-actors that play. But like getting in his group, it's not easy.
What is he on?
He's on True Blood. He's on other things.
What's his name?
Mangliano or something. Let me look.
Yeah, because he's married, was married to Sofia Vergara. They got divorced.
Yeah,
I don't know.
she probably couldn't hang with the D&D because she was. That's his name.
amazing, I love
Yeah,
her.
Wait. Is that? So, yeah, oh my
Sophia.
god.
He plays.
They were married.
Fucking Superman plays. Henry Cavill. Cavill. He fucking plays. He's a gamer.
He plays?
He still plays. He's a fucking advocate. He quit the Witcher show because they moved away from fucking mainstream story, the story.
That's right, he didn't like the way they were writing.
He's a gamer, through and through. There's some fucking studly guys that play D&D, and you're like, thank you, motherfuckers, for stepping up and making it so we're not losers, because we were never losers. And y'all like the nerd or the fucking jocks, the people that fucking didn't think very well, just all sneered at like, you don't fucking swing a bat, you're not cool. I don't swing a bat, but my fucking character does. Fuck you.
I love that.
Note to self. Maybe
Love that.
I like that. I actually like that pretty too. I came up with that right now.